Separation, subject determined. Another way to maintain the separation between the two languages that are being taught are determined by the subject. Now, what do we mean by that? We mean that different subjects are allocated to different languages, and when they are taught in those very specific languages only. This is common across secondary schools, and if we take the example of Pakistan, for instance, more often than not, certain subjects like math, science, and technology are taught in English. Certain religious subjects are taught in Urdu. And if it were a full-fledged bilingual education program as it operates in other countries, then subjects like art and craft, social studies, other cultural studies, they would be taught in another language too. So we talked about this fact that some subjects are taught in the vernacular or the L1 and the other ones are taught in the second language. Having said that, please keep in mind that the hierarchy of the subjects, the status that certain subjects enjoy, like math, science, and technology, if they are taught in a majority language, there will be a hierarchy of language status also established with it. So religious subjects are always taught either in the religious language itself or in the state language, which is common across Pakistan also. Now, there is also another possibility, and that is that we somehow divide the different chapters of a subject or a book in different languages, and we allocate those different languages for the teaching of those specific chapters. So this is what we call biliterate bilingualism. Now, in biliterate bilingualism, the goal is that the children, after their education, should be equally literate in all the languages that they have been taught during the school. So we aim to develop literacy in the same subjects in two languages. Having said that, though it is an ideal situation, this does not reflect the social reality. What is the social reality? The social reality is that bilinguals might be very good in one language, while they may only be receptive bilinguals in the other. It is also a possibility that they are able to express themselves very freely in discussion of one subject in a specific language, and when they're talking about another subject, they might feel more comfortable talking about it in another language. And this is precisely because in a bilingual situation, different functions are allocated to different languages. So theoretically, it might not be possible for the children to develop that kind of biliteracy always or for all. So what we come back to is what we call partial biliterate programs. What are those partial biliterate programs? Those are, again, what we were talking about, allocating different subjects to different languages, so that when a child completes the education, he or she is proficient in using a specific language, talking about a specific subject, while the person may be more reliant in discussing a subject in another language. Many programs offer a mixture of full or partial biliterate programs. That's perfectly all right. It really depends on the context within which the educational program has been conceptualized, depends on the learners also. So some subjects, though not the exact content, might be divided into different language teaching spheres. That is also perfectly all right. However, when we are doing that, that means when we plan to teach one subject in two languages by allocating different types of content within that subject to different languages, we need to be very careful in terms of teacher collaboration. So the two teachers teaching those subjects really need to collaborate with each other very carefully regarding the content, and especially when those same teachers are sharing the students, otherwise it can lead to a lot of confusion.